Well, as we told you, the White House doing some damage control today after President Biden appeared to call Trump supporters garbage during a Zoom call last night with a Latino organization.
Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware, they're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization of Latinos is unconscionable.
Also, the president quickly clarifying, saying his remarks were on the racist rhetoric at a Trump rally, posting on X, quote, "Earlier today, I referred to the hateful rhetoric about Puerto Rico spewed by Trump's supporter at his Madison Square Garden rally as garbage. That's all I meant to say." So let's bring in NewsNation's Kelly Meyer. Following these developments, joins us live from the White House. Kelly, the VP reacting to all of this, what did she have to say?
Yeah, this really throwing a wrench into the Harris campaign plans with just days to go until Election Day, especially after her massive speech here last night touting that she would, quote, turn the page from this kind of divisive language. And then her former running mate seemingly refers to Trump supporters as, quote, garbage. The White House working to clean some of that up this morning, as the president has said once again. This morning, Vice President Kamala Harris is responding to President Biden's garbage comments, defending him, but also making it known where she stands. Take a listen.
First of all, he clarified his comments, but let me be clear, I strongly disagree with any criticism of people based on who they vote for. You heard my speech last night and continuously throughout my career. I believe that the work that I do is about representing all the people, whether they support me or not.
This comment making news just as she was delivering her closing speech in Washington, D.C. last night, quickly turning the attention from her to her former running mate. Immediately, the reaction pouring in online from Republicans and Democrats. We received the statement from the White House saying that, quote, the president referred to the hateful rhetoric at the Madison Square Garden rally as garbage, doing that cleanup. And we are expecting to hear more from the White House next hour in the White House press briefing. And ahead of Biden's comments last night, the Harris campaign had already told me that no joint appearance between Biden and Harris was on the schedule before Election Day. He has a political event in Philadelphia on Friday, and he is set to campaign for Harris in Scranton, Pennsylvania on Saturday, Nichole.
All right, so no joint appearance with the two, but the former president, Donald Trump, is also reacting to that comment. What did he have to say?
Yeah, Trump world immediately seizing on these comments, and the former president himself at an event at the time of the news, the comments broke. He had this to say.
Remember Hillary? She said deplorable, and then she said irredeemable, right? But she said deplorable. That didn't work out. Garbage, I think, is worse, right? These people, terrible, terrible, terrible to say a thing like that.
You heard him mention there some comparing it to the comments made by Hillary Clinton in the 2016 race when she called Trump supporters deplorables. Now in that same rally, the former president referred to the U.S. again as a garbage can for the world, tripling down on the phrase he first used last week as he railed against illegal immigration. His running mate, one of the first to post about the president's language, saying in part, quote, Kamala Harris and her boss Joe Biden are attacking half of the country. There's no excuse for this. I hope Americans reject it. Many Democrats reacting today, saying the former president has used much worse language to refer to people, like calling never-Trumpers human scum or Democrats the, quote, enemy within. But with just days until Election Day, the current president's comments could carry some weight, Nichole.
Yeah, they certainly could. All right. Kelly Meyer, live for us there in D.C. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.